already seen Dyson's DIY activity on pull of earth and you all have performed. If you haven't, please watch the video and perform the activity and then watch this video. Let us discuss about pull of earth. Yes, Newton's atom. Yes. So Isaac Newton, the one who learned about law of gravity, and he has written down his book called Principia Mathematica. It's like a law of gravity. This happened in 330 years ago. But before that, no one has learned about law of gravity. No one seen apple falling down. Only Sir Isaac Newton could observe the apple was falling down, isn't it? It was like that. Why that the law of gravity, the gravitational force, was not known to anyone before that? This is Aryabhatta, a great mathematician of India, who also learned and used this law of gravity in his astronomical observations. But this was happened 1100 years before Sir Isaac Newton's observations. Can you think about this? What happens to any object when it is released from a certain height? We know that if anything we release from a certain height, what will happen? It will fall down. Yes. What would happen on moon? Yes, on moon also this will fall down. But the only thing in moon is the gravity is little bit lesser than that of Earth. On Mars, yes, on Mars also, if any object released from its height will fall down. The crumpled paper on this photograph, just to do it by an activity, like crumple a paper and put it down. We know that it will fall. Why it is? It is due to gravity. That means every object will attract other objects towards it. What is gravity? Gravity is nothing but an attractive force between two objects. But that object should have mass. Like it happens in every pair of objects, or even if it is nearby or if it is a large distance away. Only attract each other. When objects are massive, the force will be more. Otherwise, the force will be less. That means it is directly proportional to the masses of objects. That means more mass of the objects, more the gravitational force. If the mass is less, the force will be less. When the objects are closer, the force is more. When the objects are far, then the force, the gravitational force will be less. That means it is inversely proportional, that between the distance and the object. The closer it is, more the force. If it is far, the force is less. Practical observation, what is that? If any man-made object compared to Earth is extremely tiny, like that if it is a mobile or it is like in a fan or anything, it is very small in size. So observe the effect of force exerted by the object on Earth. That means when we put this down, it will only fall towards Earth. Correct? It won't float because the force, even though the mobile is exerting a force on Earth, but it will comparatively very small due to its, because Earth is very massive. So only the force what Earth is applying will be invisible. We cannot experience the force what I am exerting on Earth, but I can only experience the force what Earth is pulling me down. This is all about gravity. What is gravity? The objects attract each other. So the experiment, let us see an experiment of throwing an object up against gravity. Like, let us have two. One is a heavy metal ball and one is very light tennis ball. Let us throw both together with same force towards a height. So what will you observe? We will observe that the heavier ball will reach a certain height, but the tennis ball will reach farther heights. Correct? It will reach in a height more than what is the metal ball is reached. Why it is? Because the earth is applying force, gravitational force on these two balls. So the because the heavy ball has more mass, the more the force is on the heavy ball, whereas the tennis ball has a less mass, so it will get less, it will experience less gravitational force. So the tennis ball will reach in a higher height, whereas the heavy metal ball will reach in a smaller height. This is what we, the gravitational force acting on different masses. Hope you all have understood the concept of gravity. Uh, Thanks for watching. Happy learning.